The World Endurance Championship is back. After a phenomenal 24 hours of Le Mans back in June, the International Racing Series returns for more action-packed activities, with a trip to Brazil for the 5th round of the season. Heading into this race, there is a lot that you need to know, and in this race preview, I'll break down all the information ahead of the 2025 Rolex 6 Hours of Sao Paulo. We are officially in the second half of the season, and the WEC is back in Brazil for the second consecutive time. Last year, the World Endurance Championship returned to the iconic Interlagos circuit in Sao Paulo after more than 10 years away, and that race showcased why the WEC came back to South America. I'll begin this preview with the entries for this race. In 2025, 36 cars will be on the grid, and they are split into two categories, with 18 in Hypercar and 18 in LMGT3. Although this year there is one less entry compared to the previous year of action, with the noticeable absence of the Lamborghini cars in both Hypercar and LMGT3 and the Isotta Fraschini Tipo 6 LMH Competizione. But we will hear the Aston Martin Valkyrie thundering in South America for the first time, while the Mercedes AMG GT3 entries from the Iron Lynx will also make their first Brazilian appearance in the WEC. Now, besides the cars on the grid, there are a few driver changes which I really want to highlight. First off, it's important for you to know that this event clashes with the IMSA Chevrolet Grand Prix at CTMP, with some drivers like Ben Barnico, for example, who usually competes with Lexus in the World Endurance Championship, prioritizing the event in Canada over this one in Brazil. This weekend is also the only time throughout the entire year where a race in the WEC and a race in IMSA happen on the exact same day. In 2025, this event will also clash with the Formula E race in Berlin, Germany, and this has major effects on the WEC drivers. Because of this, the drivers that will miss this race include Peugeot Sport drivers Jean-Eric Vergne and Stoffel van Dorn, along with BMW racer Robin Freins, and winner from last year Sebastian Buemi with Toyota Gazoo Racing. Peugeot and Toyota have chosen not to field replacements for their drivers in Hypercar, where BMW has chosen to enlist the help of Marco Wittmann, who used to drive in the WEC and will be here in Brazil alongside Sheldon van der Linde and René Rast in the number 20 car. Meanwhile, the driver that stood in for Ben Barnico at the 6 Hours of Spa, Yuichi Nakayama, will stand in for him once again while he's racing in IMSA at CTMP, on board the number 78 Akotis ASP Lexus alongside Finn Gersitz and Arnold Robon. And I'm delighted to announce that Michelle Gadding is back on board the Iron Dames Porsche in LMGT3 following her injury at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And this will be her second racing appearance following her injury, as she competed at the 4 Hours of Imola for the Iron Dames in the European Le Mans Series last week. Now, a total of 3 Brazilian drivers will be on the grid for their home race, and they are all competing in LMGT3. First up, there's Augusto Farfus, who was born in Caratabia, Paraná, Brazil, and races the number 31 Team WRT BMW M4 GT3 Evo, which is featuring this very special Brazilian livery for this event. Alongside Farfus in that BMW is going to be another Brazilian who was born in Lanado, Brazil, Pedro Ibrahim, and Pedro is making his WEC debut here at home, and he is replacing the ill Tamir Bogoslavski, who is unable to compete in this event. And then there's Eduardo Barrichello. Eduardo was born in Sao Paulo itself, and he will be making his debut at the 6 Hours of Sao Paulo. He will be driving the number 10 Racing Spirit of Lehman Aston Martin Vantage GT3 Evo within the LMGT3 category, and he is the son of 11-time Formula 1 Grand Prix winner and former driver of Ferrari's F1 team during their golden age, Rubens Barrichello. Now, the 2025 event in Sao Paulo marks the 5th WEC race here, since the first one back in 2012 when the championship was reborn, with Toyota taking the first victory with drivers Alexander Wurz and Nico Lapierre in the number 7 Toyota TS030. Ironically, the last victory here was also claimed by Toyota, as in 2024, on Brazil's return to the championship, the team of Toyota Gazoo Racing took the victory with the number 8 car, driven by Sebastian Buemi, Brendan Hartley, and Ryo Hirakawa. But of course, with the Swiss racer over in Berlin for the Formula E event, Sebastian Buemi won't be able to repeat his win from last season. Meanwhile, while Toyota was enjoying success in 2024, Manthey Pure Racing took the win in the LMGT3 class after an intense battle with the Iron Dames Lamborghini, and they won with their number 92 Porsche 911 GT3R, driven by Klaus Bachler, Alex Malikin, and Joel Strom. Heading into this race, one of the biggest storylines is revolving Ferrari, as the Italian manufacturer is clearly the favorite to win, considering they not just won the 24 Hours of Le Mans last time out, but they continue to be the only car manufacturer that has won overall in the WEC this year, which is quite the statistic. However, if we look to last year, Ferrari didn't have the ultimate pace to battle for the win with the 499P. So there's a strong chance that another brand could finally take victory this season in 2025. As for the track, in 2025, the cars will be racing around the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache circuit, also known as the Interlagos circuit, which was opened on the 12th of May in 1940, and the track is located about 12 miles or 20 kilometers to the city center of Sao Paulo, Brazil. And it has 15 turns, which make up the 2.677 mile or 4.309 kilometer track. Besides the WEC event, Interlagos hosts many other events, including the most famous one, which is the Brazilian Grand Prix within Formula 1, which was first held in 1973. Moving on to the balanced performance ahead of the Rolex 6 Hours of Sao Paulo in 2025. In hypercar on the power side of things, the Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR LMH as well as the Peugeot 9XA hypercar remain the most powerful cars on the grid with 520 kilowatts of power, while the Ferrari 499P is now the least powerful car on the grid. In terms of weight, it's a similar story in hypercar. Aston Martin and Peugeot are back at the front with the lightest cars on the grid, where the Toyota GR010 and the Ferrari 499P are the heaviest cars on the grid. And as you can tell, Ferrari has been negatively hit by the balance of performance adjustments here in Brazil, which could allow us to see another manufacturer winning overall for the first time this season. Then for the maximum stint energy in hypercar, the Aston Martin Valkyrie has been given the most, while the Alpine A424 has been given the least. As for the LMGT3 field, on the power side, the Ford Mustang GT3 is at the top of the leaderboard with P1, where the Ferrari 296 GT3 has P18 at the bottom of the leaderboard. Where on the weight side of things, the Porsche 911 GT3R is the lightest car on the grid, where the BMW M4 GT3 Evo is now classified as the heaviest car on the grid. Finally, for the LMGT3 maximum stint energy, the Mercedes AMG GT3 has been given the most, where the Porsche has been given the least. As for the championship standings heading into the Rolex 6 Hours of Sao Paulo, first off, let's take a look at the hypercar class. James Calado, Alessandro Pierguidi, and Antonio Giovinazzi are continuing to lead the championship heading out of Le Mans with the number 51 Ferrari on 105 points. But following their win at Le Mans, the number 83 AF Corsa Ferrari is just 16 points back in second. Then comes the number 50 Ferrari AF Corsa entry in third, followed by the number 7 Toyota, and the number 6 Porsche Penske Motorsport 963 has moved into fifth after finishing second at La Sarthe. After the top 5 comes the car that took pole last time at Le Mans, the number 12 Hertz Team Jota Cadillac, with the number 8 Toyota right behind in 7th place. Then comes the number 36 Alpine, which got on the podium at Imola and Spa, followed by the 2 Team WRT BMWs completing the top 10, with the 20 ahead of the 15. As for the hypercar manufacturer standings, Ferrari continues to lead the way with 172 points, followed by Toyota in second and Porsche in third, following their successful result at Le Mans. Cadillac is now in fourth, followed by BMW, Alpine, and Peugeot, with Aston Martin once again at the rear of the manufacturer standings, but they now have 2 points on the board following Le Mans. Moving on to the LMGT3 standings heading into the 6 Hours of Sao Paulo. At the top is the number 92 Manthey First Form Porsche with 81 points, but just 5 points behind is the number 21 Vista AF Corsa Ferrari, with the Qatar-winning TF Sport Corvette completing the top 3. Then comes the heart of racing Aston Martin Vantage in 4th, followed by the number 78 Akotis ASP Lexus completing the top 5. Then comes the second TF Sport Corvette, the 81 car, in 6th, followed by the 87 Akotis ASP Lexus, the 54 Vista AF Corsa Ferrari, the number 59 United Autosports McLaren, and the number 77 Proton Competition Ford now completes the top 10. So, I've shared a lot of information about this race, and I'm sure it's starting to sound pretty cool. But you still might be wondering, how are you supposed to watch this race live in 2025, and what does the schedule look like? Well, fear not, I have the answers. For the schedule, this year the race will be set up by 4 qualifying sessions, 2 for LMGT3 and 2 for Hypercar. Then, as for the race, it will take place on Saturday, July 12th, and start at approximately 11:30 a.m. local time, and you'll be able to catch the action live by visiting FIAWEC.tv to see the official broadcast. However, it's important for you to know that this is a subscription-based platform, and it can be geo-blocked, but depending where you are in the world, there are other places to watch the racing. For example, I'm based in the United States of America, and you can catch the action live here on the HBO Max streaming service. Here on this channel, we will also have multiple different live streams and updates covering the event throughout the race, and I highly recommend checking out each of the broadcasts and all the videos to keep up to speed with everything at the 2025 Rolex 6 Hours of Sao Paulo. So that completes my WEC race preview for the 2025 Rolex 6 Hours of Sao Paulo. Are you excited to see the WEC back in Brazil? And who do you think is winning this race overall? Will Ferrari continue their domination? Will Toyota win again here in Sao Paulo? Or will a different manufacturer triumph at Interlagos in 2025? Well, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below.